Hello everyone, Gaza Mutkarsh, and I welcome you all to this session on relational databases and SQL basics. So guys, let's have a look at the agenda for this session. The agenda for this session includes understanding the basic SQL queries, where we'll be implementing the fundamental SQL queries, essentially the select query, the where clause, the order by clause, and we'll be looking at a couple of other SQL commands. So till the previous session, we have seen how to, let's say, design the schema, what are the different data types, what are the different constraints, how to create the table, and how to insert the data into the table. So guys, let's get started with this agenda. So I'll be switching to the SQL workbench window. So guys, over here we are in the SQL workbench window. The database that I'm going to use is DB demo1. All right, this is the database that I'll be using. And over here, let's say I'll be creating a table called orders table. And in this orders table over here, I'll be inserting a couple of columns, right? I'll be adding a couple of columns. First column being the order ID, which I'll be setting to integer, and this is going to be the primary key. And okay, maybe I can set this to varchar. I'll be setting this as varchar, maybe let's say 30 characters. Then I do have the customer ID, and customer ID would be integer. And then I have the product ID, and product ID would be, let's say, again varchar, and maybe varchar 40. All right, so these are the three columns. So when we talk about the orders table, how would my table look like? So the way I'm planning this orders table is, as far as this orders table is concerned, I'll be having columns such as the order ID. Next, I'll be having the customer ID. Next, I'll be having the product ID, and next I'll be having the price. Next, I'll be having the quantity, then the order date, and the delivery date. These are the columns that I'm planning to add, and then maybe at later point in time we can add, let's say the order status as well. All right, so these are the columns that I'm wishing to add. So over here the first column is the order ID, जिसका data type हमने varchar set किया है, and I've set this to primary key. Next we have the customer ID, then the product ID. After the product ID, then we have the price. Price would be integer. Then I'm having the quantity. So let's set the price to float. All right, I'm setting the price to float, then quantity would be integer. I cannot order it in fraction. Next I have the order date, and order date would be in date field, and then I do have the delivery date, right? Next I have the delivery date, and this is would again be in the date field. Then maybe if I need to add something such as maybe some discount. So discount again maybe integer or float, so this could be the discount percentage, right? This could be the discount percentage. If need be, I can add this. Okay, maybe I'll add this later. So currently this is my table structure, this is my table schema. So order ID is varchar primary key, then the customer ID is integer, the product ID is varchar 40, the price is float, the quantity is integer, the order date is date, and the delivery date is date as well. So let me create this table. So guys, now I've created this table, and next I'll be inserting the data. So insert into orders values. So because I need to insert data into all the fields, so over here I'll be writing, let's say ORD1, all right, order 1, and then the customer ID would be let's say maybe 1110, the product ID would be P1, and the price maybe this could be 500, the quantity could be 2, and the order date could be 2025, maybe 4, maybe 10. All right, and the delivery date could be 2025, maybe 4, and then 70. All right, so this is what we have as the order date. This is what we have as the order date and the delivery date. So likewise, I'll be inserting, let's say around 10 records. So this is order ID 1. Okay, maybe just ORD 1, and then I just need to replicate it with ORD 2, then ORD 3, order 4, 5. All right, then order 6, then maybe 7, then 8, then 9, and then 10. All right, so these are the different order IDs, and the customer IDs would be 1111, then maybe 1112, then maybe 1110 again, then 1113, then maybe 14, then maybe 1111 again, and then 15, 16, maybe 15 again. All right, and the different products that we have are P1, P2, P3, maybe P4, then P2, P2, P3, P4, P3, and then P3. So likewise, I can have these varying prices. So P2 is 300, P3 is maybe 800, and P4 is 1100. So P2 I have to set as 300, P2 300, then P3 is 800, and the P4 that I'm ordering is 1100, and then P3 again, so that would be 800, and P3 would be 800. So the quantity could be 2, 1, okay, maybe 3 and 1, then 1, maybe let's say 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. So order date, if I were to include only the dates from April, so this could be 7, this could be maybe 12, this could be let's say 18, this could be 22, this could be 25, and maybe 16, all right, 9, then 5, and then 2. And the corresponding delivery dates could be, this could be 10, this could be let's say 19, this could be 28, and this could be maybe let's say 25, this could be the same day delivery, and this could be after 16 maybe I can pass 21, then 9, after 9 maybe this can be 14, and after 5 this can be delivered on 10, and on if it was ordered on let's say the format that I'm using is YYYY hyphen mm hyphen dd. So if it was ordered on the 2nd of April, so it can be delivered maybe by 6. So these are the 10 records that I have as of now. Maybe I can add a couple of more. All right, so 14 records. So this is 11, 12, 13, 14, then maybe 15, then 17, then let's say 14 again, and 18. So the products are P4, P1, and P1. So P4 is priced at 1100, and P1 is priced at 500. So 500 each, and the quantity is 2 and 3, and this would be 2. And the order date could be maybe 4. Over here it can be, let's say, this could be 15, and this could be 20. So when it was ordered on 20, so it was delivered on 24, so 15, 17, and then 4, and then maybe 11. I can change this to 9, and this can be changed to 6. So guys, these are my records. These are the records that I'm inserting. So let's see. I'm assuming there is no error. Yes, it seems there is none. Let's try to execute this and check. So guys, as we can see, the data has been inserted, right? The data has been inserted successfully. So over here I can write select star from orders. So this is the table that we have, and this is the data, right? So we have around 14 records. Now first let's understand the basic the different SQL commands that we have. So the first one that we have is the DML command. DML stands for data manipulation language, and the commands so that we have in DML are insert, update, and delete. So far we have seen how to use the insert query, right? Insert query is used to add let's say insert values into the tables. Next we have the update and delete. So update is let's say update is meant to update the data into the table, and delete is meant to delete the rows, either one or multiple records. Likewise, update is used to make modifications in the table data. We can make changes to one records or multiple records at a time. Next we have the DDL commands. DDL stands for data definition language, where we have the commands such as create, alter, rename, truncate, and drop, and these are used to make let's say changes in the table structure. So create is used to create the table, alter is used to make changes in the table structure, rename is used to change the table name, truncate is used to delete all the records, drop is used to delete the entire table structure. Then we have the DQL commands, which is data query language, which is essentially used to display the data based on one or multiple conditions, or essentially let's say to extract the data from the based on given conditions from the table. So there we have just the select query. So first we'll be working with the select query. So why do we use select query? Select query is used to display all the records from the given table. So it does not modify the table. All right. So it is used to display all the records from the given table, let's say, and we can optionally apply. We can optionally apply conditions. All right. Over here we can apply different conditions to the table. So let's see how does the select query work. So if we were to look at the orders table, I'll give you a couple of examples. So this is the data that I have in the orders table, right? Now suppose I want to display, what does star over here indicate? Star indicates everything. Star, let's say, indicates everything. Select everything from the table and display this, right? So over here I'm displaying everything from the table. Next, maybe I want to display only the, let's say, those orders where the product ID is maybe product 4. So over here I can write select star from orders where the product ID is set as 4. So product ID is P4, right? The product ID was set as P4. So if I were to write like this, so guys, as we can see over here, I'm only extracting records where the product ID is set as 4. Now maybe I can extract the records where the order quantity is, where the quantity is greater than maybe 3, greater than equal to 3. So I'm only interested in records where the ordered quantity is greater than or equal to 3. So if I were to run this, what am I getting? Over here I'm getting, let's say these are the records where the order quantity is more than 3. Now I want to display the record, select star from orders, maybe where the order date is less than, let's say the date is 2025 and maybe 04 and then 15. So where the order date is less than 15th April 2025, all right. So or let's say less than equal to 15th April 2025. So how do we execute this? If I were to execute this, this is what I'm getting. So these are the records. I'm getting 9 records where the order date is less than, let's say 15th April 2025. So we are getting order date, the product was ordered on 10th, then 2nd, 6th, 4th, 15th, 7th, 12, 9 and 5, but not more than 15. So guys, this is how, let's say, we can display, we can even apply filtering on the table. But currently we are displaying all the columns, right? What if we want to display only selected set of columns? So even that can be done. So instead of star, we have to manually write the columns that we wish to display. So let's assume an example where I want to display the order ID. Next, I want to display the product ID. I don't want to display the customer ID. I want to display the quantity into which the product was ordered. And I also need to know the order date from what is my table name. So the table name is orders. So only these details I want. So as we can see, we do have the order ID. So I'm having order ID, then the product ID, then the quantity and the order date. Now I want to include the price as well. So I can add it over here. Now it's not mandatory to display it in the same order. I can add it in any order. All right, because these are columns from the table, so I can choose to display them in any order. All right, so guys, these are the records that we have. This is how we can apply. This is how we can use the select query to display maybe custom columns or let's say the columns in a specific order. And on top of this, we can apply some conditions, maybe where the product ID is P3. So if you have made few changes, or in case there is some error, so see, for all the product ID P3, the price is constant. Now what if I go for P4? So again the price should be constant, and for P2, yes, the price is constant, and for P1 again the price is constant. So this is how, let's say, I can apply certain filtering conditions. So where clause is essentially used for filtering condition. This is how we can use the where clause. Next we can understand the where clause, right? So we have just seen the examples of where clause, how to use select with the different where clause, how to use select with different conditions utilizing the where clause. So what is the purpose of where clause? Let's see the definition. We have already seen the examples. So it is used for filtering, but essentially it is not used with aggregate functions. So we do have aggregate functions such as sum, minimum, maximum, count and average, about which we shall be discussing in the upcoming module. So this is the only limitation when it comes to where clause. It is not meant to be used with aggregate functions. And as far as MySQL is concerned, it is not used with let's say aliased columns. All right, aliased columns. So what is meant by aliasing? Let's say suppose over here I'm having the order ID, then the product ID, right? So instead of product ID, suppose I want to display this as the product. I'm calling this as the product, not the product ID. So product ID would be renamed as the product column. This is only meant for display. This is not going to make any changes in the original table. So if I were to execute this now, so guys, this is what I'm getting. So as you can see, the product ID has been renamed as product. So now where cannot be used with this particular column. So I'll show you. Currently it is working with the product ID, right? But if I were to write, see, currently this is working. But if I were to write it like this, where the product is equal to P1, the column name is product. Let's see. So as you can see, I'm getting an error because where clause does not work with the aliased column. So this is another limitation of where clause. It is not meant to be used with the aggregated functions such as sum, minimum, maximum, count and average, and it is not to be used with the aliased columns. So we have seen a couple of examples. Now we can even apply more than one filtering conditions. How can that be applied? Let's have a look. So to apply more than one filtering conditions, what can be done? Even over here, I can use means this is just one example. In the next let's say session, we shall be looking at multiple examples of utilizing the where clause. So the first condition is where the product ID is P3, and let's say I'm setting the quantity is let's say greater than or quantity is equal to 2. I want to display all the records from the orders table where the product ID is P3 and the quantity is 2. So let's see what records do we get. So we just have two records, order 11 and order 9, where the let's say product ordered was P3 and the quantity was 2, and these are the corresponding order dates, right? So guys, this is how we can utilize the where clause. Next, let's understand the order by clause. So order by clause is used to essentially sort the data in the ascending or the descending order. So how can we use the order by clause? So it comes let's say at the end. So over here I can write select star from orders. All right, and after this maybe I want to display order by the order date, and this goes in the descending order. So as you can see guys, the order date is in descending order. First I'm getting 25th April, then 22nd, then 20, 18, 16. Next I'm getting 15, 12, 10, 9, and then 7, 6, 5, 4 and 2. So guys, this is how let's say I can sort the data in the descending order. And if I were to sort it in ascending order, what can be done? So maybe not based on the order ID. Let's select star from the orders table, and this time instead of going for the let's say order date, I want to use order by the delivery date, right? I'm going for delivery date, and this is in the ascending order. So when it comes to ascending order, the keyword ascending is optional. I can choose to write this, I can choose to avoid it as well, but by default this would be in the ascending order. All right, so maybe I can mention this over here, and first I'll show you how it looks, how the output looks like. See, the delivery date is in ascending order. The most earliest delivery has been on the 6th April, then 9th, 10th, then we have 11, 14, 17, 19. All right, and then we have 21, 24, 25 and 28. So this is the delivery date sorted in the ascending order. So next maybe if even if I write the ascending, so it won't make any difference. So the result remains the same. So over here maybe I can write another point. So by default the data is sorted in ascending order. All right, by default the data is sorted in the ascending order. So this is how let's say we have seen how to utilize the order by query. Next we do have couple of other commands such as update, delete and alter. So first we'll have a look at the update. So update is used to update the records into the table, and it is a DML command. So over here I need to update orders. Let's see a couple of examples. So first I need to see the table, and then only then I'll be making couple of changes. So if this is my data, this is my data that I have. All right, so maybe I just need to change for the order ID 6. I want to change the customer ID. All right, update orders, set the customer ID, or maybe I can set the product ID, right? Over here I'm setting the product ID as P5, and the price that I'm setting is let's say this is maybe 1700. The price is 1700, where the order ID is, what is the order ID? The order ID over here is ORD6. So what are the corresponding changes that I'm implementing as far as order ID 6 is concerned? I want to change the product from P2 to P5, and the corresponding price would be 1700. And I'm setting how am I checking that the corresponding details are matching for the order ID 6? Because order ID we already know is set as the primary key. So the condition that I'm applying is based on the order ID. So I'm ensuring that for the only and only for the order ID 6, these two records should be updated. Means the previous value was P2, which will be transformed to P5, and the previous value was 300, which will be transformed to 1700. So let's see this in action. So if I were to run this, so guys, as we can see, it says one rows has been updated. So now if I check, let's say order ID 6. So for order ID 6, this has become P5 and 1700. So this is how we can use the update query. Next, we have the delete query, and let's say delete is used to delete one or more records from the table based on some condition. So table structure remains unaffected and it is a DML command. So how do we delete maybe a couple of record or maybe one record? So over here I can write delete from the orders, where the order ID is, I can choose to delete, maybe I'll be deleting order ID, let's say 9. So previously, if we check, we do have the order ID with 9. So we do have order ID 9, right? This is present. Now I'm deleting this. So maybe let's see what happens when we delete it and what is the query like. The query is like this: delete from orders where the order ID is order 9. So if I were to delete this, as you can see, it has been deleted. One row has been affected. So I'll show you the outcome. Now we only have 13 rows and there is no order ID 9. The last order that we have is order 8 as far as this particular formatting is concerned. Next, we can have a look at the delete query. So delete is used to delete, let's say, one or more records from the table based on some conditions. So delete we have already seen, right? Next, we have the alter query. Alter query is used to make changes to the table structure and it is a DML command. Let's say we can apply the renaming of column, we can change the data type, we can add or remove constraints. All right, and let's say we can add a new column, we can delete existing column. So for the time being, let's say to make changes into this table, what I'll be writing, alter table, I'll be changing the table like alter table orders. All right, and let's say rename column, I'll be renaming the product ID to product. So first I'll show you what is the table structure like. So over here I'm having select star from the orders table, right? So currently if we check over here, the product ID that we get to see is the product. The column name is product ID. Now I'm renaming this column from product ID to the product. Let's see this if it works. So if I run this, so guys, over here, let's say the changes have been made. So let's see this in action. So as we can see, the product ID has been renamed to product. So far we have seen these different queries in MySQL. Now let's see the same queries in Postgre as well. So guys, I'll be switching to the Postgre window. So guys, over here we are in the Postgre and we have this a very similar table but with different data. So I'm having the orders table where I'm having the order ID, customer ID, product ID, quantity, price, order date, and the delivery date. So order ID is serial primary key, means I don't need to enter it manually. It will be let's say this will be set as the auto increment mode. Customer ID integer not null, product ID integer not null. Then quantity is integer. I'm ensuring that the quantity is okay. Let's get rid of the check constraint now. I don't need it as of now. So means this is how we can apply the check constraint, ensuring that a particular validation is applied. So if I were to check that quantity only greater than 0 has to be inserted into the table, so under that circumstance only, let's say we can apply the check constraint. Next, I'm setting the price as numeric, all right, with 10 comma 2 means total 10 digits with 2 decimal places, and I'm checking that the price is greater than 0. So again, maybe I can get rid of this. All right, I can comment this part and comma, and order date is not null and the delivery date, right? So this is my table schema. So let's execute this. So as we can see, the table is created. Next, I'm inserting the data into the table. So I'm having customer ID, product ID, quantity, price, order date, and the delivery date, and these are the corresponding values that I'm inserting. So the price may vary. All right, so this is the data. Let's insert it. So let's execute the script, and as we can see, 15 records has been inserted. So if I just look at the data that we have, so guys, as we can see, this is what we have. We have the order ID, customer ID, product, quantity, price, order date, and then the delivery date. So ये records हैं हमारे पास. Now first of all we'll be looking at let's say the select query. So the way we have seen the select query in MySQL, likewise we can write the select query even in Postgre. The first query would of course be select star from orders, which you have already seen. working. So star over, again even over here star indicates I'm selecting everything from the orders table, right? So guys, this is what we have. Next over here, if I were to look at, let's say selecting maybe a few selective columns, all right, or few prioritized columns. So I'm only interested in, let's say, not the order ID but the customer ID, then the product ID, and the price and the order date. So guys, I'm only interested in these columns. And what is the column name? The column name is customer ID, right? Okay, let's check the table. Yes, the column name is customer ID. Let's check it over here. Okay, so we do have customer ID. So I'm extracting the customer ID, the product ID, the quantity, okay, price, and the order date. Okay, I'm getting some error in the customer ID. Let's check. Customer ID, right? This is the customer ID. Select customer ID. Okay, instead of, let's get rid of this. Other than this, okay, I have to mention from the orders table, right? From the orders table. So now this is absolutely right. Now I can even write the customer ID. So the mistake was I forgot to mention the table name. So over here I'm extracting the customer ID, the product ID, the price, and the order date from the orders table. And as we can see, these are the records. Now I can shuffle it in any order. Maybe I want to display the order date first and then the delivery date from the orders table, right? So now after the order date and the delivery date, I want to display the order ID, and I want to display the quantity into which the product was ordered. So guys, as we can see now, I get to see the order date, the delivery date, or maybe I want to display the delivery date after a couple of columns. So order date, order ID, quantity, and then I'm adding the delivery date from the orders table. So if I were to run this, this is what I'm getting. Now I can also add price. So clearly, as you can see, we can shuffle the order of columns in which we wish to display. Now, likewise, I can use the where clause. So we have seen a couple of examples in MySQL. So I'll be showing you one example. Select star from orders. So in Postgre as well, select star from orders, maybe where the delivery date, let's say, is greater than 2024, and then maybe 12, and then let's say 20. So guys, how many records are we getting? We are only getting 5 records. So these are the 5 records where the order date, or let's say the delivery date, is greater than equal to, let's say, 20 December 2024. So clearly we have 5 records in total, but in total the total number of records that we have in the table is 15. So clearly this is how, let's say, we can apply the filtering. Next, if we were to look at the alter query, so let's say, okay, we'll look at before the alter query, we'll have a look at the order by, right? So order by, how to use the order by. So if I were to just write this, select star from orders and then order by. So order by, I can order it by, let's say, the order date. So order date has to be in the ascending order. So if I were to execute this, as we can check, I'm getting the order date from 1st December, then 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 14th, and so on, right? So this is in the ascending order. So when it comes to ascending order, ascending is optional. Writing ascending ASC is entirely optional, right? So I can choose to write it, I can choose to avoid it as well. But when it comes to descending order, it has to be written. So if I were to write it in the descending order, so maybe I can go for the delivery date, and the delivery date would be in the descending order. So guys, as we can see now, I can get to see the delivery date is in descending order, right? As we can see, first I'm getting for the 25th December, then 22nd December, then 22nd, 21st, and so on. So clearly the delivery date is in the descending order. So this is how we can use the order by. Next, if I were to look at the alter query, so using the alter query over here, I'm adding another column, right? So in the first example, let's say add another column. And what is the column that I'm adding? I'm adding the order status. So currently I'm setting alter table orders. So I'm adding a column or order status varchar 20. Its data type would be varchar 20, and the default value that I'm inserting over here is pending. So currently none of the orders have been delivered. So let's execute this. So over here it says query returned successfully in 117 milliseconds. So now if I were to check this, so there's another column added to the table, right, which is the order status. If I were to run this over here, the order status is pending. Next, let's add another column. Okay, I'm changing the data type, right? So over here I've added another column. Next, I'm changing the data type. So I'm changing the data type of the price. So price was numeric 10 comma 2. Now I'm changing it to numeric 12 comma 2. So if you observe over here, price was numeric 10 comma 2. So this is how, let's say, we can modify the table structure using alter. So it says query returned successfully. Next we have, let's say, I'm renaming a column, right? So using alter, even we can rename the column. We have seen this in MySQL, rename the column. So if I were to rename this, I'm renaming the customer ID, right? So in the original table, what is the column name? The column name is customer ID. So I'm renaming from orders, rename column customer ID to customer ID. So as we can see, okay, I'll have to interchange. Rather, this is customer ID to customer ID, right? So let's run this. And as we can see, the table, let's say the column has been renamed. How do we verify this? We can execute this, and we can, as we can see now, the table contains the column customer ID. So next we can see update. So how does update work? So over here, I'm setting the, let's say, update is used to make changes to the table data, right? So over here, I'm using the update query. So update orders, I'm changing the order status to shipped, where the delivery date is less than, let's say 21st December or less than equal to 21st December. So currently, as far as the order status is concerned, the only record that I'm having is pending. So this would make few changes to the delivery date. So let's run this. Now if I were to check this, so it says, let's say update 12. So guys, as we can see, a couple of records, for a couple of records, the order status is pending, means there has been no change. But for other records, we can see that the order status is shipped. All right. Next, I'll show you another example. Over here, we have the update order, set price as price into 1.0 for the product ID 2. So for the product ID 2, over here, I'm changing the price to price into 1.0. So let's run this, and let's say the data has been updated. So let's check this. So this has only implemented for product ID 2. So wherever the product ID is 2, all right, the price has been updated. So the previous price has been updated. Likewise, over here, let's say I'm changing the order quantity as 5 for where the quantity is 1. So this would update multiple records. Set quantity is 1 for order ID 5. So order ID 5, let's check for order ID 5. Over here, I'm I'll be changing this quantity from 2 to 1. So let's check this. Now for order ID 5, select star from orders. Let's check where is order ID 5. This is where we have the order ID 5, right? Its quantity has been changed to 1. Likewise, next I can check the delete. So delete from orders where quantity is equal to 0. So currently we don't have any such data. And likewise, I can delete one of the records over here. So clearly, okay, so this would be customer ID, right? So guys, as we can see, let's say 2 records have been deleted. So now if I check this, we won't find any order ID 100, customer ID 103. So customer ID 103 is not there, right? So guys, this is how we can implement, let's say, the select, the where clause, the select clause, the where clause, the, let's say, order by update, delete and update, delete and alter. So guys, that brings us to the end of this session. Let's switch to the PPT. So guys, in this session, we have seen how to write the basic SQL queries. In the next session, we shall be discussing about filtering and sorting in detail. Thank you.